Well, I'm glad you could join us. Recently, we've been seeing some terrible news on the air. It's been about the shooting in Arizona, rather. And you have to ask yourself, what was the mental state of the person who did the shooting? Well, you have to say, he's absolutely insane. Well, I guess there's all kinds of insanity. And there are people who are dealing with that in San Francisco or out to help people who are not at that point. Edward Vega is right now. He's the executive director and Mental Health Association of San Francisco. Nice to have you here, Eduardo.
Great to be here.
Let's talk about the more common kinds of mental illness that you would deal with on a daily basis, not the kind of aberration that was in Arizona for a moment. People who have families and suddenly somebody in the family is not acting like they normally act. At what point would someone say, this person might need some help or some counseling?
Well, it's a really good question, and I think, you know, one of the big issues that always comes up in those kind of conversations is, you know, sometimes people are afraid to talk about it. On the other hand, you don't necessarily want to like shame somebody by bringing it up. So I think there's a lot of people struggle with that. Like, when do I speak to my sister about, hey, you don't seem like yourself? Really, a lot of that comes back to one of the things that we're really working against, I think, across the country, which is stigma associated with mental illness. Everybody has mental health, you know, and hopefully most of us are more on the positive side of it than on the negative side. Let's say we're more healthy than ill. But when somebody really shows signs of illness, I think it's always good to like just be upfront with it in a supportive way, and that's what we really hope to promote as a way of making a difference in people's lives. Not just saying, hey, I got to take you to the doctor, but saying, hey, you know, seems like things are different for you these days, or you're not acting like yourself. What's going on? You know,
Yeah,
how can I help you?
Yeah. If somebody does have that situation in the family, or a friend, or a wife, or a husband, can they call the Mental Health Association and set up an appointment to come and talk to a counselor? How does that work?
Sure. Well, at the Mental Health Association, we don't provide therapy services, but we do provide referrals.
Yes.
So
right.
If somebody has a question, you know, they can go to our website. They can find out more about what we do, in particular in terms of different types of programs. Or they can call us and just, you know, ask who should we go to, where can we go to. We have a resource guide that provides a list of all the resources for counseling in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm. I assume that if somebody calls and they are questioning the behavior of somebody they know, there's a sort of an interview on the phone to find out a little bit more about that person, right? Someone in your office and someone would say, you know, go through a little litany of different kinds of things that may be going on so they can direct them to the right person.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you called me, for instance, you know, I would try to ask some general questions and see, you know, where do you live? You know, what seems like the issue is the issue to you? Have you talked with the person about it? And then say, okay, well, this is the place I think you should go for, like a screening or, you know, an actual evaluation. We don't have psychiatrists on staff. Some of us are trained counselors, but we don't actually do an evaluation ourselves. But I want to actually, what you're just talking about reminds me of a program that we're involved with that's very exciting and really kind of relevant to the issue with the person in Tucson and some of the questions that came up with regard to him. So we have a program that's focused on early intervention for psychosis.
We just have a few seconds left, so.
Okay, thank you. So the PrEP program focuses on getting people resources and getting people help when they're young and they're distressed and they have what are called early psychotic symptoms.
Okay, to get at the very beginning, right?
Yeah, and to make a difference so that those people don't go off and become really ill over time.
Okay, nice to have you here. Eduardo Vega is with us. He's the executive director of the Mental Health Association of San Francisco. Thank you very much for joining us.